But let me go back to the expert I mentioned earlier, Harry Hursty. I told you that he successfully hacked a voting machine using a different vulnerability, and it was highlighted in a documentary on HBO. We don't know if these machines or software are still in use, but check out what he was able to do. Quote, not only did Harry change all the votes, he even made the machine print out a false zero tape, the paper safeguard that is supposed to show that there are no votes preloaded inside the voting machine. I want a secure election, and I'm not saying this alleged vulnerability has ever been taken advantage of. I'm not saying anyone plans to. I just want transparency. I just want anything that people on either side would use to say, see, he's not really the president, they cheated. Trump people will say that, Biden people will say that. Whoever wins, the loser, unfortunately, in today's world, will say that. We just want the vulnerabilities, if they exist, to be looked into. The lawsuit waived by the Supreme Court alleges that this vulnerability was found on machines in Arizona, Colorado, Michigan, and Georgia. If any of this is true, how many machines could have had this same alleged vulnerability? These are the states in red that currently have at least some Dominion machines in their election system. Do you live anywhere in these areas? And if so, is there anything you can do? Well, my next guest might have the answer. John Graves. He is an attorney and software executive whose clients include numerous Fortune 500 corporations. He has overseen the development of software and national databases of over 200 million voters with software tools integrating marketing across numerous platforms. He has worked with cybersecurity experts who have handled the highest level of software security, including those who have written software for the government, the military, NASA cybersecurity contractors, and software with biometric and fingerprint verification sent to FBI and other agencies. As part of the review of the 3 cybersecurity declarations alleging the encryption keys in plain text, John engaged a former NASA cybersecurity contractor to help. When he heard about this alleged vulnerability, it prompted him to help American voters find the tools to try to figure out what's going on. John joins us now. John, thanks so much for joining us. Come up to the chalkboard here for a second.
All right, be happy to.
Well, I want to make sure that we have this right and everybody understands.
Yes.
Okay? The election, the voting machine is like a bank.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Okay?
Great.
And to get in to the front door, you need a key. Who would have that key? All the commissioners?
Yeah, a Dominion employee, a county commissioner, they would either have it or have authority. Anybody who can access the database has the PC login key.
Okay. So that's a Windows PC, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And it's all normal, and you just sign in.
Username and password, and you put the password
and
in.
it opens the door of the bank.
And you're in the bank lobby.
Right. But you should not be able to open the vault.
No, you should not.
Okay.
With the key to the bank.
Right. Okay. So you have the key to and all commissioners have this, and that's normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the lobby of the bank,
That's right.
in the open are the 4 keys that open the vault.
That's right.
So what can you do in the vault with the 4 keys?
Yeah. So the allegations that were made in this lawsuit that you pointed out, these keys could shut off the cameras and wipe that you were there because they're encryption keys. They could take the gold and replace it with counterfeit gold. Take the cash, replace it with counterfeit cash. You would never know it. And then literally go right back out and no one would know that you're there. You showed that on the demonstration.
Right.
Of the cybersecurity expert.
That's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
Okay.
That's why it alarmed me.
Okay.
I thought if these allegations are true, now again, they're talking about the past. I'm concerned about the future. I'm
Right.
concerned about this. So
Do we know if they're still there? Well, that demonstration was recent-ish, wasn't it?
well, no, that demonstration was some of the public Dominion databases that are out there, like the expert
Okay.
Philip talked about. Those databases are out there. So that's when you and I first talked about this. I was very concerned. We can't have people A, be demoralized, or B, not know about this. This
Correct.
is serious. What can we do?
Right. Let's sit down.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I don't want to, and this, we had this conversation when we first
did,
talked. I
yes.
said I
Yes.
do not want to get into rehashing.
Exactly.
I don't want to bring up stuff that will do anything but tell the truth.
That's right.
To either restore the trust,
Yes.
or help people restore the
Yes,
trust.
that's right.
You put keys where nobody can find
That's
them.
right. Yeah, they need to be stored, or they themselves need to be encrypted. And in fact, the front door to the bank in your chalkboard, you can have just a simple 1, 2, 3, 4 code, or you can have a biometric code. You can encrypt the front door to the bank as well. That's just something that can easily be done before November. So that's one of the things that people need to ask for.
But if let's say I was an elected county commissioner,
That's right.
and I'm looking over and I'm just step by step, I wouldn't know what those keys were. I saw those keys.
That's right.
You know, we masked them, but I saw them. I don't
right.
even know what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I wouldn't be looking for those as keys.
That's right. Yeah. You would have to know what you're doing. So the most dangerous attack in these kind of situations, including a bank, is what they call a man-in-the-middle attack. Somebody who is on the inside. So you see this in the military where there's a spy that comes in. You
Right.
see this with a company. A bad actor could go get a job with the county or Dominion or something like that. Or they could be paid to give their password. So in some of these small counties, especially, you know, the computer may be sitting right there, and the janitor may be able to get in. I could just get a job as a janitor and go in. So every county is a little bit different.
Right, and it takes somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Has nefarious. It's not. We're not accusing
No.
anybody.
No.
Okay.
No.
Does this talk to me about the paper thing?
Yeah. So when you ask the expert Philip Davis about that, there's two kinds of paper. There's digital paper. That's what was scanned into the tabulator, taken on the little card over the CF card or the thumb drive, and taken down to the bank, the database. All right, to what that's in the vault. Well, it's the whole bank. Yeah. So you go there. Well, that's all he looked at was the digital ones. Somewhere there's the actual paper. Somewhere there's the actual original paper, and we're just in that case. We're not talking about the past, but 3.5 years later, they still don't have an inspection of the paper. Well, if I go to a bank and I write you a $5 check, it's got a serial number on it, it's got a watermark on it, it's auditable by me as the person who gave the $5. I could at least look at mine and go, you didn't change mine. And if an audit came, hey, we got a bunch of counterfeit bills here, then we could walk in the audit and walk in the vault and do an audit, right?
You're a technology.
Yes, that's right.
I can't believe this is the system. You go to a bank. I could go to a bank, and if I had $1 billion, I could go to the bank and I could say, I want you to wire transfer this to some dirtbag country on the other side of the world, and here's the number of the bank. Here's my number. They could take $1 billion, transfer it within 24 hours. But if it wasn't that big, it would be an hour. They would be able to say, it's received,
That's
it's
right.
done, and not a dime is missing.
Exactly, and we do that all day long. People say, oh, we got to go to paper. Okay, well maybe, but we transfer billions of dollars every day in the banking system.
Correct.
But it's transparent. That's one of my big passions is make this transparent. Sunlight is a great disinfectant, and it's bipartisan. If both sides are looking at this, then who's going to cheat? There's a lot of scrutiny on this. Who's going to do it? If there's a lot of eyeballs on the bank because my money's in there and I don't like this, the keys are left out in the lobby, I may be parking up there or I may move it to a different bank.
Okay, so we've kind of talked about the problem. I want to ask you some more questions, but I really want to get to your solution, because the reason why I agreed to do this show was when I spoke to you and I said, so what is going to be the solution? Because I don't want to just frustrate people and make them more concerned.
I love that.
You can't trust.
Yeah.
And you had a solution.
Yeah, that's my big personal passion. All these other people have different expertises and different things, but mine is to make practical tools. So I do own digital companies, database companies, nationwide voter rolls, and I've made it to where people can make it simple to go to their local officials. You said in your opening part, we got to get this back to the states. We got to get this local. That's where the most power is. You're not going to make a lot of change trying to get to Biden or get to Trump, right? You're going to make change talking to your county official. That's who 99% of the time has authority over your election software is your county officials. They may be clueless that this particular bank is set up like this. And we're not even saying it's still set up like that for 2024. All we're saying is, hey, go here and sign up. We'll match you to who's the most relevant person in your county, in your state, and we're going to give you a simple letter that says, here's what you're asking. You're not talking about the past. You're not saying that this happened. You're not saying that it was used by some bad actor. In 2016, the Russians did it. In 2020, somebody else did. That we live in a country where both sides are going,
all the time.
Yeah.
Over and over
It's
again.
like we need to live in a country where I lost a fair fight. I lost a fair,
Amen.
secure election.
So what do people do to get to their county commissioner?
Okay, so what we do, we created millionvoices.org. They go there and sign up. They give us just their name, address, contact information so we can educate them. And then we match that address to that state and to that county. We can go all the way down to their state rep. So there's 7,183 state reps and state senators across the country. So you have an outsized influence because sometimes they're winning their election, Glenn, by 500 votes or 50 votes. So they'll pay attention if 5 or 10 people in their county say, hey, I just want a bipartisan inspection on this. And then when they do that, they can click election integrity. We're set up to do other issues. We care about, the border and life and other things. So once they do that, if they click election integrity, we're going to give them a sample letter. We're going to say, here is your person. So for me, it's a county commissioner. I live in Tarrant County. Okay. So I'm going to be able to click a button. I have the talking points. I can educate myself and I call him. Or I click another button. I copy the letter. We ask people to personalize it. We don't want it to be a form letter. You want and be positive. It's like, hey, I'm a voter that is concerned about
We'll
this.
catch more flies with honey.
Yes.
I mean, we have to be, because I don't think at that level,
That's right.
especially in, rural counties and everything else, maybe in cities it's more of a machine. I don't know. But we have to be the good guys.
That's right. And a lot of these people, I believe, some of them could be watching this show. Someone can send this show to them and say, hey, I'm a state rep, I'm a state senator, I'm a county official, I'm over elections, I'm a county commissioner, I'm in my state on the election registrar board. Guess what? I'll go make sure that's not there. And that's all we're asking them to do. We're saying, look, don't accuse people. Don't say this has happened or somebody stole it or even Dominion. I'm a big constitutional guy. Even they're innocent until proven
Right.
It's like everybody's innocent because we're talking about the future. Just because this lawsuit and these experts found 5 states that had this, it's like that's troubling, but we can fix that. There's a solution, and the solution to me, my passion, we call it Million Voices because I want millions of people to use their voice. I want them to understand they're the hero of the story. The average citizen is frustrated, but they don't know what to do. And our very first talk, that's what I loved about this, Glenn. It's like I don't even want to talk about this if we're not going to give them the solution.
Right.
And if they have a solution, they're the hero of the story for 2024.
Okay, so tell people where to go again.
Okay, millionvoices.org. They can do that. I know a lot of people listen while they're driving. You can text the letter MV to 80550, and then we'll send you the link. Because if people are on the radio or driving or whatever, pull over and stop. Don't do it while you're driving, but just text 80550, text the letters MV, and then we'll send you the link. We'll educate you, and then we'll show you. We'll kind of walk you through the process of how to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this is all about the future. This is all about restoring confidence, ensuring that our election, and I mean Republicans, Democrats, and Independent, is secure this year. And all the ones that follow it will be secure. I want to keep repeating, we are not accusing Dominion of anything. We're not saying any of this has been used in an election, nor will it ever be in the future. It was mentioned in a public court case. It is out in the open, and at the very least, it needs to be looked into. Just so you know, one last T-shirt. The views of this host are not necessarily reflected by the writers, researchers, and producers of this broadcast. This telecast is copyrighted by IFPSTD B23 for the private use of our audience, not supported in Alaska or Hawaii, MLNS number 007333. Saying. Is there any more disclaimers we could run? I don't think so. From Dallas, good night, America.